Howdy, folks. Video here talking about the research process, and specifically, we're going to focus on note taking. How do we take notes? What do we take notes on? What does a good organized kind of note process looks like? So, just to kind of review where we've been and where we're going, we've picked our topic and kind of thought about a research question. That's a really important piece of this because we're going to bring up that research question a little bit later. And so once we have our topic and our research question, then we start going and searching and evaluating sources. So generally, I like to try to gather what I think are going to be a good group of sources first, and then I start going through them with a fine-tooth comb and finding information to help me answer my research question. And so once I've found all my sources and kind of looked at them and thought, okay, this one's going to foot the bill, this one's not, toss it out, find a different one, then I'm going to start taking notes on this process in order to work kind of towards my final product. So in this note-taking process, I don't know why I have a little walking zombie there, but I do. In this note-taking process, it helps to know what kind of ideas I'm going to record. So this is where I want to review my overview and have like a final product in my mind. It's like, okay, I know for this project, here's what my finished idea should be. And maybe that's a presentation, or in this case, it's going to be a research paper. And because I know what that final product needs to be, it helps guide what I need to be taking notes on, right? So for this particular process, I need to explain the background and importance and controversy of my issue. I need to explain two different perspectives on my topic. And then I need to be writing an argumentative essay supporting my ideas, what I think. So I'm going to be taking notes to help me develop these four sections of my paper: background, two differing perspectives, and ultimately my supporting ideas. So as I'm researching and as I'm taking notes and kind of thinking about these four sections of my paper, I might be narrowing or revising my research question and topic to make sure that it's really going to fit to what I need to come up with as a final product. But once I have that research kind of question really nailed down, what I'm doing is I'm looking through the sources that I've found for kind of facts or theories or quotations or ideas that will really help me answer my research question from the different perspectives. So for example, if I'm looking for gun control, I might be looking for theories and facts that, the people against gun control are going to use, or the theories and facts that people for gun control are going to be used. And I'm going to be using those and copying and pasting them into my note chart. So when I say copy and paste, what I mean is, like, literally I'm trying to find a quotation or something that's going to fit and support some of my ideas, or some of the ideas of the perspectives, because remember, my goal is to explain the perspective of someone who agrees or disagrees with my topic, or has a perspective on my topic. So I want you to take a look at these two different copy and pasted notes from an article. So this one, I've just copied and pasted an entire paragraph, an entire section, versus copying and pasting one particular sentence that I've narrowed out and be like, okay, I could definitely use that in my paper, right? This is almost too big. So you should be judicious a little bit and evaluative of the notes that you're taking. Don't just copy and paste a whole paragraph. What I would recommend is try to find the most important or most interestingly phrased section of that paragraph that you think you could use to support one of your perspectives or even your own perspective, and copy that down. And then it would never hurt to go back and even jot down why you think that quote or note is important. So for example, we might take a look at an assignment earlier in our research project, which is taking a look at some objective summary and selecting support. So this is one of our practices that we're going to use for this idea, is if this is my research question and I've found a good source, I need to read this article, and I'm going to try to find like 1 or 2 sentence chunks that would really help me answer this idea. Is homework an effective way to increase student academic learning and success in high school? And remember, I'm trying to represent both perspectives. And so this article might have perspectives that are for and against the idea of homework. So I might want to label those appropriately. And so I'm going to drop in a specific quote, and then even in my notes, I might write a brief explanation about here's why I picked that quote, because that could really help me when it comes to writing my paper, is kind of recording my thoughts of why did I think this was important, 2 weeks ago when I took this note, and now it's time for me to build my essay or draft my essay, or an outline, and I've got that thought process that I had 2 or 3 weeks ago when I first found this article. It could be really helpful. And then the last note about taking notes is that make sure you are labeling your sources. I would always keep your notes organized by source, because you're going to have to reference and give credit. Anything you pull from that source, you have to add an in-text citation and a full citation at the end of your paper, so I know that you're giving credit to the people who actually wrote this initially. And then even underneath those sources, I might add some subheadings to help direct your attention later. There's a great example of this on my research resources page. If you take a look at this completed note chart. And this student in particular used one of those issues and controversy sources, which is a really big source, right? There's like 3 or 4 articles within this one topic. And so you can see how she organized her notes based on not only by source, but by, okay, here's what opponents of gun control say, and here's what supporters of gun control say. And here's just some general examples that have popped up of, a history of mass shootings in the United States that you could use maybe as some background information. So use this as sort of a template of what you could do to organize your notes, even within different sources. All right. So ultimately, when we're taking a look at these things, let's get back to my slideshow. What it kind of boils down to is focus in on your research question. Does a particular question or statement or fact or detail or quotation help you answer this question, and why does it help you answer that question? Or how does it help you define a perspective that you're trying to research for? And remember, keep your notes kind of as short and concise as possible. Don't copy and paste in a whole paragraph, because then you're just going to end up rereading the entire article anyway. You're really trying to get focused on things that you could use to help develop and define what you're talking about and support what you're talking about. All right. Good luck, folks. Holler with any questions.